Okay, so we are going to start this over again. Sweet Tara has my login, so she hopped in and bumped me off. But
How dare you do things without me?
sorry, you were late. Anyway, so for those, I'm going to recap just really quickly. So tonight, we are talking about something that I learned early on. So it was something, I've really used throughout my business. It's really helped me. And I was sharing just a little bit about how a lot of people kind of accidentally fall into this business because they're excited about their own journey and they're excited about what they're learning about the products, and so they tell a few people, they get a few customers. But for me, after I had my first customers, I was like, where do I go from here? What do I do from here? And I had started dreaming big with this, and I really truly believe that this could be the app for my family to have a second income, even though I'm a homeschool, like there's not much opportunity for that. But I didn't know what my day-to-day activity should look like in order to make that happen until I stumbled on a training called 531. Right, everybody is hopping in right now. Yay. So I stumbled upon this training. So I listened to tons of training calls early on. That was like my full-time job. I really wanted to learn how those that had had success did it. Like, what actions were they taking? How much time were they spending on this? How do they keep themselves organized? And there was a diamond in the company at the time. Her name's Sarah Marble. And she is the one that I originally heard this concept of 531 from. And y'all, this was back when like my kids were all itty bitty. Time was super precious. And I really had to do as much as possible in a little bit of time. But the first thing I really kind of want y'all to understand before I go into the 531 is there are only a few things that are going to bring income into your business. Okay, so scrolling on social media is not going to bring income in. Making a post is important, like you're planting seeds, but making a post really doesn't even bring income in. So the only things that truly bring in income into your business are having conversations with people about the products, learning how to follow up on those conversations, and then when they finally decide to try this, taking care of them, like taking care of your customers so that they want to stay on their products. And then, also just having those conversations that are casting vision for them to share their own journey, just like you're sharing yours, so that you have people, that then come alongside you in this, just sharing with all the people. So if you really dial it down, like your income producing activities are just conversations and then following up on those conversations and taking care of your customers once those conversations lead to them ordering, and then just casting vision with the business. Okay, that's why we always say there's 4 pillars: recruitment, retention, duplication, and then leadership is the last one, which you're going to be growing in leadership as you're doing those things. Okay, so it's important to know what activity you should be doing. But when I think back to when I started, like I was really struggling with how to structure my day to where I didn't feel like I was either always working plexus or never working plexus. And that's really where this 531 concept came in. So Sarah Marble, she did this training and it was all about time management. And I don't know about you guys, but I had never really learned this concept of time management. So, I had a calendar and I had a schedule and I knew when I needed to be places, but I had never really learned how to structure my day in a way that like helped me accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish and not feel overwhelmed. And so when I listened to this training from Sarah, she said that when she started to grow her Plexus business, sorry, let me let Kim in. When she had started to grow her Plexus business, she would find 30 minutes to an hour a day. She would set that aside to work her Plexus business. And that was truly enough time to grow if she was super intentional about what she did with that time. And that's kind of where the 531 came in. And y'all, it was mind blowing to me to hear this diamond say, I grew my business in 30 minutes to an hour a day. but it took intentionality. Okay. So that's the biggest thing I need y'all to get from this. Now, the 531, that stands for starting 5 new conversations a day, following up on 3 of your previous conversations, and then checking on 1 customer. Is posting still important? Yes. Is listening to training calls still important? Yes. But this is the core of what we call your income producing activities, your IPAs. And y'all, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Okay. You can do a 531. You can do a 321. You can do a 333, right? Like you pick your own numbers, but the point is you just need to work in each of these buckets consistently and decide what matches the goals that you have for yourself. So I had really big goals and I loved the idea of the 531, especially because a diamond, she's like, that's what I did. And I'm like, well, you did it, you're diamond, I'm going to do it. So her whole mindset behind talking to 5 people a day is, first, there's a lot of people in the world that need what we have. And when I first started this, I had a teeny tiny network, but it isn't who we know, it's who they know. Okay. There's so many people out there that need better health. And 5 people per day means that you're talking to 25 people a week if you do it 5 days a week, which is 100 people a month. And that felt really, really good to me. Okay. Second was she emphasized how if you only ever have a few people that you've ever connected with about these products, then when you sit down to follow up, you are connecting with the same people over and over and over. And you are going to start feeling annoying and you're going to feel like you're salesy and you're pushing them. And I know most of us don't want to be that way. I would say all of us don't want to be that way. The more conversations you're having, the more seeds you are planting and the more space that you're giving the people to decide when it's time for them, when the right time is for them to try this. So I personally started reaching out to 5 people a day, 5 days a week, even though I felt intimidated. Okay. So it took me a bit of time when I first started this because I would overthink and I was like, I don't know what to say. And I would analyze my conversations over. And I felt super awkward and all the things, right? Because it was new. It was something I had never done before. But y'all, the more you do it and you lean into that discomfort, the better you're going to get. Okay. The more consistent I got, the more comfortable I got. And the more I just did it, regardless of how I felt about it, that's when I noticed my business was growing because I was casting a lot of vision for people. Okay. Now the 3 follow-up conversations. So starting new conversations is important, right? You definitely need to prioritize new conversations, which is why it's the biggest number. But the majority of people are not going to try this the first time you talk to them about it. And that's okay. That is normal. If you tell somebody about it and they're like, nope, not interested. Nope, not for me. Nope, don't want to try it right now. Like that's totally normal. Okay. The fortune is in the follow-up. 99% of my business, it has not come because I've been brave enough to reach out to somebody about the products the first time. It has come because I have been brave enough to continue following up with them even after they told me no. And y'all, I do it in a non-pressure way. Like I just let them know I'm still here. I'm still thinking about you. I still think you'd love this. Let me know if you have any more questions. Like I did that with a girl today. I've been talking to her for years and years and years, and she's never been like, dang girl, you're pushy. Like she's thanked me for not giving up on her. Okay. So I promise you guys, like if it's your desire to not be pushy and annoying, you will never come across that way. You are going to connect authentically. So you got to get out of your own dang head. Okay. I know Terry and I talk about this all the time, right, Terry? Getting out of our own head. Okay, hold on. Let me let Jackie in here. Okay. Now how I follow up in these 3 follow-ups is I just try to offer new information. So I don't want to scroll back in my message with somebody and see I'm basically saying the same thing over and over. I don't want it to be, do you want to try Plexus? Do you want to try Plexus? Do you want to try Plexus? Like if you're starting to see that as a pattern with somebody, you need to reach out in a non-Plexus way. And it's totally fine to stagger in non-Plexus reach outs. And I would still count that as a reach out for myself. I've had, I think it was Amanda, she and I were talking. She asked me how often I try to reconnect with people. If you can connect with somebody at least once a month, whether it's Plexus or non-Plexus, you are keeping that conversation door open. You're keeping that relationship door open. So just consistently connecting with people and trying to offer new information every time. So I love to share testimonies. Obviously, if we have a sale, I'm going to talk to them about that. Inviting them to an event that I think might help cast vision, like our Thursday night testimony calls. So many different ways. But if you continue to do this, you guys, it's just going to build their belief that these products can help them, and they've helped you, and they're going to start seeing that it can do the same thing for them. Okay, so just find a different way. I'm going to talk about resources in just a minute that can help with this. I'm sorry, I'm skipping some of my notes, but reach out to 5 new, follow up with 3, and then the 1 is taking care of 1 customer. So early on in your business, this can be easier to do because you only have a few customers, but the more you're consistent with those first 2, the more customers you're going to have that need support. Okay, I promise you that. And it's a good problem to have. And the beauty of this business is if you can truly help somebody love the products like you love the products, they're going to be your customer forever. Okay, I have customers from 10 years ago, like way back when I started. And that work I did at the beginning to support them. And I mean, y'all, it's like as simple as giving them their getting started instructions. Okay, I know there's some of us, me included, that get so busy at the end of the month, we sign people up and we're like, crap, I didn't even send them instructions on how to take their products. We've all done it. Okay, it's human. We're just human. But if you truly can take care of people, and it just comes from organization, that's really it, then that work you do one time, you're going to get paid on month after month after month. Okay, so there's so much value in customer care. We have a whole customer care guide that's going to help with that. It shows you exactly what to say, when to say it, like how to track when to check on your people. If you're not in the Success Accelerator group, let us know because it's all in there. I want to say it's guide 3. It's also in boards if you're in our boards, the customer care guide. But you guys, I'm really, for myself, trying to look at customer care as like the most fun part of my business. Okay, because temptation is to hide from it because we don't want a bad report, right? We don't want somebody to say, oh, I'm hating my product. So we hide from it when so often maybe there's like detox going on, and you asking helps you, be able to work through that with them, and you actually save a customer over losing a customer. Okay. But yeah, resources. Sorry, skimming my notes, trying to keep us on time. We have lots of resources in all these areas. So if you have not printed the Confident Conversations Guide, we have so many examples in that of how to start conversations with people in a genuine way. My first reach out message actually comes from that. So I love the messages that are in there. There's great follow-up examples in there. Like I said, we have boards. That is an app. If you do not have the link to our boards, let me know. It's all of our team resources organized. But there is a folder in boards called the Messaging Toolbox. And there are a gazillion, like a gazillion's a real word, okay? That many message examples in there. So you really just find one that feels authentic to you. And now 5 new conversations can take me 5 minutes, maybe 10. So once you know what feels comfortable to you to start that conversation, it really just, it can be streamlined and you can be so efficient. We also have a folder that has follow-up examples of how to share new information, how to let them know you're still thinking of them, all the things. Okay, so use the resources and really just keep a checklist of people that you're talking with. Like if you have a list of people that you know you've connected with or want to connect with, like I know a bunch of us have recently printed our friends list. I legit went down my friends list when I first started this. I had like, I don't know, 400 friends. I went down all of them. And I just like, hey, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's helping a lot of people. Is it something you've ever looked into before? Just connected with all of them. And I stopped trying to overthink it. But if you have that list, you can do this 5-3-1 in 30 minutes. Like y'all don't need to be spending 10 hours a day working your Plexus business. Okay. 15 minutes doing new reach outs, 10 minutes doing follow-ups, 5 minutes checking in on one customer. And it didn't take me 30 minutes day one. Okay. But like I said, I just got more comfortable the more that I did it. And it took less and less time. And then the last thing I kind of want to leave y'all with is, if you have big dreams with this, you have to be willing to invest time. Like it was 100% worth me structuring my day to carve out space that was non-negotiable. And I have never once regretted it. Okay. Discipline is what it takes to be consistent. You're never going to be motivated to do it. You're never going to feel like doing it. And that's why discipline is so, so important. But there is nowhere else you will be able to create an income with no cap from home on your own schedule, like nowhere else. So I really want you guys to spend some time thinking through, like, what is your non-negotiable? It doesn't have to be a 5-3-1. Is it a 3-2-1? Is it a 3-3-3? Is it a 12-9-7? I don't know why I'm going with all these like 3 intervals, but just decide what your non-negotiable is. And there was a great Brittany Howard podcast. If you don't know, Brittany Howard's a diamond in our company, and she has a fantastic podcast. It's called Lead Her Ship. So you need to go look that up. But she said your non-negotiable goal needs to be the goal that you know you can hit and be proud of yourself, even on your craziest day. Okay, because life is always going to throw us curveballs. So she's like, think of your most insane day. What is the goal that you could hit and be proud of yourself on that day? Because guess what? You can always do more. But you want your non-negotiable goal to be something that you know you can show up and hit. And write it on a piece of paper. Like when I started, I wrote 5 new reach outs and I had 5 lines and I wrote their names. 3 follow-ups and 3 lines, and 1 customer and 1 line, right? And then commit to it 5 days a week. Make it your non-negotiable. And always remember the popcorn analogy. Okay, we talk about this all the time. The work that you do now is going to show up in your business 90 days from now. And what's going on in your business now is a reflection of what you did 90 days ago. And for those that don't know how that relates to popcorn, it's because popcorn, when it cooks for those 90 seconds, those first like 75 seconds, nothing seems to be happening. But that butter is heating up and the pressure's happening and all the things. And it's those last 15 seconds that all the popcorn is made. Okay, so it truly is the faith of knowing I'm showing up and I'm doing this because I'm disciplined and I'm trusting the process, and you will see the results. Like if y'all do it 5 days a week, you can legit triple your business in the next 90 days. Like I would love y'all to prove me wrong on that. And to help us, Jara has even volunteered to do a Thursday night working call for those that have said evenings are better for them. I know we've got quite a few people that evenings work so much better for you to do stuff. Daytime's better for me, but not for everybody. So Jara, I love you, friend, for being willing to do that. And do you want to talk about what, I don't want to steal anything of what you're planning on doing on that.
Oh, it's kind of a work in progress, I guess. I just felt led to make sure that people who are busy during the day, whether that's with kids or another job elsewhere, know that you can build a sustainable business with this. You don't have to be a stay-at-home mom who homeschools or already retired or whatever to make this work. And so I just felt led to prove to you that, like Kendall already said, in 30 minutes to an hour consistently over time, how that can compound. And so I just want to do a Zoom on Thursday night. I think we may do 7:30 Central. For anyone that wants to get on, we're just gonna like set some timers and just work together. If you have questions, if you don't know what to send, you don't know what to say, something pops up, whatever, like I'll be there. I know other people would be happy to help do that too. Um, we used to do like working Zooms often, all the time. We kind of got away from that. As far as testimony Thursdays, so that's like an ongoing call. If you've got somebody on that, then I would say absolutely go with them to that, talk to them about that. That's what I would do.
That's at 8:30.
Is it later?
I feel like that's at 8:30.
Okay, maybe later. So then if it's
I'll
not, you can
quote me on that, but I think.
Okay. Well, we'll confirm times, but whenever I invite somebody to be on a call, I like to show up and be on it. I think that's just the right thing to do. Like, and so that's just how I like to do things. So if you have someone who is committed to being on something and it interferes with something else we're doing, I think the right thing to do is to show up with your person and be able to talk and have a real conversation with what you just watched together. If it doesn't interfere, then I would love for you to jump on Zoom with us. We'll do Kindle's Zoom, so the same Zoom ID. Apparently I'm perfectly capable of logging in as her. So we'll just get on, we'll run some timers, we'll work together 30 minutes, make it short and sweet. If you've got questions, I'll be happy to help. And yeah, we'll kind of do a 5-3-1 thing.
And I love how you brought up the timer, because I forgot to mention that. I will tell you, setting a timer is so important. If you know you're going to spend 15 minutes working on new reach outs,
yes,
set a timer. Like Rena's on here, right? Even the most squirreliest brain person I know, Rena, she waves. She functions so well on timers. She and I were even just talking about this the other day. She's like, I'm just much better on them. And then I can focus in and still get distracted. And so I love timers. Set a timer for yourself.
Yes, we'll set a timer, and I think the accountability will be great too. You won't be by yourself. You know, somebody message you something and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. Like, we can help with that. That's okay. We all have those moments too. But yeah, the timer will help a lot, and you'll be surprised how much you can get done in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. And it just makes me think back to even, you know, you were talking about how you don't have to be, you know, somebody who's retired or somebody's home. I always think back to Jill Renfro, and her story is incredible. We need to get her back on the call. It's been years since.
Yes, she's awesome.
Jill. So Jill's a diamond in our company, and she was a school teacher. And her whole motivation for doing this was her husband worked in the oil field, and he would be gone for weeks at a time. And she wanted to make enough income to bring her husband home. And so because she was a teacher, she would literally get her butt up at like 4:30 in the morning so that she could do her IPAs, whether it was 30 minutes or 45 minutes before going to school, because she knew all bets were off when she went to school, and she was exhausted when she came home at night, probably because she was getting up at 4:30. But also she knew, like, it's like working out, right? If I don't work out in the morning, I'm going to talk myself out of working out because I'm too tired at the end of the day. I've seen Jared do her workouts like 2 a.m. It's crazy, and that's like she's still awake at 2 a.m. But I can't do that. And so just know, whether you can do it with us, maybe you can't get on the Thursday night call, but find a time that works for you. I have done it in the evenings. I've done it on Saturday mornings. I've done it weekdays on lunchtime, kids nap times. I mean, just find the time that works for you. We all have 24 hours in a day, and we can all carve out 30 minutes, 5 days a week. If you can make it an hour, fantastic. If you can only carve out 15 minutes, that's better than zero, and it compounds if you do it consistently. And so just find what works for you, and don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just because you see someone else can do theirs during the day, that's a great why. If you want to be able to do yours during the day, but you're at a job, fantastic. Work yours in the night, and you got a big goal to say peace out to your boss so that you can work it during the day, right? But don't compare your journey to anybody else's. We're all on our own journey, and that's why it's your non-negotiable. If 5-3-1 is mine, it doesn't mean it has to be yours. Just make sure whatever yours is aligns with the goals that you have for yourself. And if they're big, do big. If you want to pay for your products and your groceries, then fantastic. You may not need to work as much as I want to for my, I would love $200,000 a year. That'd be fantastic. So it's a little bit of a different goal. But anyways, anybody have any questions? I know we've got Bethany joining us in just a minute, and we're going to be switching to our normal team call night.
I do want to say the thing I love so much about a timer, it's not even so much, okay, I'm going to focus on this activity for this long, but like even today I set a timer, and I was, somebody sent a text, And I was so, just natural. It's just like to stop what you're doing and go check out the text. But when you have that timer going, you are dedicated to it just is that reminder that you're dedicated to that activity. And it's almost a reward. When it's over, you can go check the text.
Mhm.
So it's really, it's honestly the only thing that keeps me,
I love that it creates more pressure on me. I'm like, yes, I can't look at my text because I have a time limit. Like, I don't know.
You really do it. And it's like, okay, I'm going to commit to this and whatever happened, like even if the phone rings now, I'll just do the send a voicemail, and then the automated whatever, I'll call you back. And I just stay in the activity. And it's almost like a reward. Like, okay, if I stay in this activity for 30 minutes or whatever it is, I can get to go,
Yeah.
call a person back or whatever. But you find that you race, that timer becomes like you want to beat the timer, right? So I don't know, it's so ingrained in us maybe as like childhood games, so but you find that you do a lot of activity in that 30 minutes and you do not allow distractions.
100%. Yep. I have my little timer, although I always try to do it for us and you can never hear the timer when it goes off, but that's okay. Okay, so I know Bethany's gonna be here in 1 minute, so I'm gonna stop our recording.